Hello, everyone. I'm glad we have an expert with us today. He's an academic and his field is Fintech. It's going to be quite interesting to some of us to listen to him. Right now, we have with us Arunava Bandyopadhyay. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Arunava.
Thank you very much, sir, for this opportunity to talk with you. And this is a very great opportunity. And as you have said, so I'm academic. So before I would like to introduce myself briefly. So I have done my PhD from IIT Kharagpur, Vinod Gupta School of Management. And after that, now I'm working as an assistant professor in the finance domain in International Management Institute, Kolkata. And there I teach fintech and financial analytics and blockchain. So I'm passionate about these things. And also I'm doing some research on these things. So before that, I hope you know about International Management Institute, Kolkata. So the initial one was in Delhi, International Management Institute, Delhi, and it is the first corporate sponsored business school. So it is part of the RPSD group, right? And so here in this institute, I'm teaching fintech to students from different background, and we have a center for applied blockchain and digital transformation. So digital transformation is actually the very important thing in today's world. And I think you must have noticed the trend that is going on. Most of the companies are either moving into the generative artificial intelligence domain, or they're moving into the analytics domain, or the fintech space is bubbling. So many Indian companies are featuring like unicorns. In the past few years, we have seen many unicorns come up in this domain, and they are doing very well. So India is actually showing the world how this fintech domain is evolving. And this is a great thing that Indian population, right, Indian people are very well accepting it. They are adopting this technology, the changes that are coming up, and they are that is having a very good adoption all throughout the country, right? So last few weeks back, I was in a remote place in Meghalaya, right? And it's located in near a hill place, a forest area and all, and we stayed there overnight. And when I was about to pay him, he said, Ki, I'll not accept any cash. You can just do a UPI payment to me. So I was amazed that how people in the very remotest corner of the country are very much adopting these things. But what we know about fintech is all about the payment technology mainly that we are using. Many of us are using the payment technology day in and day out, and it has become a go-to thing. So sometimes I also don't carry my wallet and I just pay through my mobile phone and all. But fintech is not only about payment technology. It is also about how lending technology that many of are using, personal lending and all. And there are other domains that are yet to come up. So India is we're doing very well in the payment technology and the lending technology domain. But as we can see, RBI has been stricter nowadays, and it has been warning people as well as companies to be careful about how they're adopting these things and how they're moving ahead. So slower adoption is better than people going into going into fraud and other. They are missing their money and all. So RBI is telling people to slow down. The companies also to slow down, and it's trying to make the regulations more stricter so that frauds are less common, right? In are not becoming a hurdle in this journey. But other domains of fintech that I would like to discuss is about, there is a huge domain of insurtech, right? So that is very well accepted in many other countries, but I think in India, insurtech is there, but it has to be adopted more by people. So most of the people in India are remaining underinsured, I will say, because many people in the villages and the remotest corner of the country, they are not getting proper insurance, health insurance, proper personal insurance, different security coverage and all. So this insurtech domain should evolve. And I think the next revolution in India is going to be in the insurtech domain. And then we have the regulatory domain. So it is known as RegTech, right? So how regulatory things can be covered through technology. So all these tech are due to how this technology is actually helping evolve the regular companies, right? So when we teach in class, we generally say the things are all were already there. The payment systems, the insurance, everything is there. And fintech is like a wrapper around a already existing thing. So it makes it look beautiful. It makes it much more handy, much more user friendly, right? And that is why these fintech companies, these are coming up more and more unicorns. You will find those are coming up, funding rounds are happening because many this follows a LASIK principle, I would say, right? So LASIK is what? So you don't need much investment here. It's a low cost, so you have to be innovative, right? It's very much affordable, right? It's very innovative, as I've already said, and it's cost effective, right? So those people, those who are using it, they are finding it this wrapper very good in terms of that. Right. And I think the fintech that we understand right now is in the centralized domain, right? The major thing that should come up in future, right, in all over the world is the decentralized domain. That is the decentralized finance domain. And it's growing up, but due to regulatory hurdles and all, it may take some time to so that the people can adopt it, and it may help more peer-to-peer transactions will be directly happening is the if the blockchain and other such technologies around blockchain, right, like the smart contracts, the tokens, the token world itself, the non-fungible tokens and all those are taken into one place and integrated with artificial intelligence and internet of things and other things, and then we can live in a decentralized world where we do not need any regulations, but the technology itself will be a regulator. The technology itself will try to manage those things. So as I was speaking about a center that we have, so ours is a management institute. We cater to MBA students, right? So but we are trying, what we have noticed is digital transformation is going to be a major thing in the near future, right? And every company now or in the next few years is going to transform itself, is going to adopt more of these technologies, and there is no place to remain in the traditional world. So everyone has to move ahead. So I think our students also have to be aware of all these things, be habituated about the technological development that is happening. And then only when they took part in some company, they join some company, they can spearhead digital transformation there. So this center is headed by having good people along with me. There is Professor who has done his PhD from IIM Ranchi, professor who has done his PhD from IIM Ahmedabad. And we are trying to we are trying to guide our students so that they can also develop applications around these things, in around the fintech applications, around the blockchain things. And there we are also gradually bringing up generative AI. So how these generative AI revolutions can be used to develop new innovative products. So our aim is to develop those kind of things, and that is why we are focusing on those kind of subjects. And as I told you, I'm also passionate about these things. So it is a great opportunity, to work around these things and develop these things. And another area that I am passionate about is analytics. So I teach student financial analytics. So mainly when we talk about analytics, it covers a huge domain, right? It can be done through pen and paper. It can be done through big softwares, right? Using big data, using machine learning, right? Neural networks, all these things are there. And we are trying to find the applications in finance. So one of the major focus is not to just learn what these technologies are. Our major focus is to understand that how these technologies can be applied in the real financial world, right? So we are trying to do that, and we have partners in industry. So that also helps us. So we are partnering with the industry as well to realize the usage, right? To interact with the people. So we have regular interactions with the industry people, and we try to understand whether it is actually useful or not. So from the academic domain, we can
Yeah.
develop, we can write papers, right?
Yeah.
And we can
Yeah.
create any number of new innovations that we can claim it as an innovation. But unless it is useful for the industry, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So we always try to get a feedback. So then the feedback loop completes, and then we develop ourselves again that how these things can be further developed and further can be used so
Mhm.
that it helps the common people, right, users around us, and how they can also benefit from it. So we are gradually trying to build up it as our thought leadership, right? So we are trying to become thought leaders in this application domain, and we hope with the help of with the involvement, with the engagement of the industry, with the students, and the partnerships that we have with foreign universities as well as our universities,
Mhm.
right? Gradually, we will be able to, and our students will be able to take India to a new heights, right, in the technology domain.
Okay.
So our goal is to create the next generation managerial entrepreneurs, who can work in these domains and develop further newer, more effective technologies, more effective applications of these technologies.
Okay. What kind of jobs do your students get?
Mainly in consulting roles. So we have corporate like Deloitte, we have Grant Thornton, we have TCS, right? So big corporates are coming in, and we are tying up with some foreign new companies also, those who are the startups, right, in this domain. So we are trying to bring in different fintechs and different domain, uh, Kantara and other this Kantar and different companies, right?
Mhm.
Which can help in the development of this kind of. They are hiring our students in different domains, right? Wipro, these are different companies which are hiring our students, and they are working in different consulting domain. So during alumni meet, one of our students met me, and he said, "Ki sir, during the classes, we felt that why we are learning all these new technologies and all, but I'm finding he's now working in the cyber risk domain, right? And he's finding all those applications very useful.
Okay.
So taking from analytics to other areas, so cyber risk and cyber security, right? It's a very important thing in today's world. So he's finding these different applications, or through different club activities, whatever they have learned,
Hmm.
this is going to help a lot. It is generally helping them a lot, and he got the best employer few days back also.
Okay.
So, and
Right.
the MD, the founder, principal founder of this company, also visited our campus, and he was very happy that we are training our students in those things in the managerial domain, that they can understand
Yeah.
what are the applications and what can be the problems. So knowing the problems is also important. So blindly adopting a technology doesn't make sense
Yeah.
unless you know where are the drawbacks, right? Where you can falter. Because one drawback, one hacking attempt, one failure in the technology can lead to loss of millions,
Yes.
right? So the earnings that you make throughout, if you fail in one point, it can make millions of dollars of losses that can happen.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Now, where do your students come from, and what is the ratio of men to women?
okay, so that's a very good question actually. So our students are mainly coming from diverse backgrounds, right? So they are from different engineering backgrounds, they are from commerce backgrounds. We have also students coming from few students from the literature and other business backgrounds also. And they are actually mingling up very well, because I think the students, those who are coming from the technology background, they may be good in coding and writing very good codes or using technology or mathematical skills. But students who are coming from the commerce and other allied backgrounds and the business background, They are good in identifying the applications because they have seen, and they can easily identify that where is the business acumen,
Mhm.
right? So they can identify those points, and they can help and collaborate with the technical background students to develop those kind of newer things that can come up. So we have a new venture development program, right? So where they are we have an incubation center where the students can work on the new venture development, and they can also start up a company. So few of our students are already planning to start up some companies in different domains, right?
Mhm.
So they try to do that. And also we are helping the MSME sector through there is program called Local Business Accelerator, right? So West Bengal, as you know, is a hub for MSMEs. There are many small and medium scale industry, huge industry, but what we found is they are lacking the basic consulting that is available to big industries. So we tried to develop a team so that can help. They can work along with the founders of those companies, and they can provide valuable consulting insights, right? That can help so they work with these companies for 6 months of time while they study, and they apply whatever they learn in these companies, and they help the founders to solve the problems that they are facing. So those are the things. And the question that you ask about gender, so I think we have a very good gender ratio of 40% of our students are coming from the female, right?
Okay.
So I think it's a good
And
ratio in India.
are they from all over India, or they are mainly from West Bengal?
No, they are from all over India. Most of them are from all over India because it's a fully residential program. So
Mhm.
most of the students are coming from different parts of India, and they stay in the campus, and they all throughout the year, 2 years they are with us, and they are working on different club committee activities, different cultural activities, and they are mingling. I found many students are mingling with the culture in West Bengal,
Okay.
right? So they love it. When they are here, they gradually start loving the place, and they mingle with all other, and the students who are local people, they are also staying in the same hostel, right? So they are also helping them mingle out. They have to explore the city. Calcutta is one of the oldest city, and it has its own grandeur of its food, of its different locations, the people, the historical things that we have. So it definitely helps students to groom in different ways, both technically, managerially, as well as through cultural exposure and all, right?
Okay.
So
Wonderful. That's really great to hear that there's mingling and all this.
yeah,
There's a reasonable balance and all. But you
yes.
didn't tell us about your own background when you were young.
Okay.
So let's
Yeah,
hear
so
that. Let's hear
all
that.
right.
Right.
Definitely. I'd like to speak about it. So, my background, if I start with, so I'm proud that my father was in Indian Navy. So he served the Indian Navy for 15 years, right? My mother is a homemaker, and from childhood, my mother has been a big force in what I am today. So both my mother and father has been grooming me from the very childhood so that I can develop myself, right? So after I did my BTech in mechanical engineering, so I come from the tech background. I did BTech in mechanical engineering, and then I started working in a project management company that is a part of Siemens Group, right? So Siemens has different business domains. So project management in steel industry was one of the domain, and in the very beginning of my career, I got a very good mentor in my reporting manager. So he groomed me a lot, and he assigned me big responsibilities like being project manager itself in very smaller projects and all. So in the very beginning of my career, I started as a project manager, and
Which city were you in?
I was in Vizag,
Okay.
right? Yeah, so I'm from Kolkata, from the district called Bardhaman. But then for work, I have been in Mumbai, I have been in Vizag, I have been in other parts of the country, different parts. So our head office was in Kolkata, but we used to visit in different project sites. So I have worked for Vizag Steel Plant. I have worked for SAIL, different big organizations that are there in the steel industry, right? So I've been to Karnataka. There is a big steel hub where many steel companies, steel producing companies are there, iron and steel industries there. So, but when I worked for 7 years there, in between I completed my one executive MBA from IIT Kharagpur.
Okay.
So during my executive MBA, I got a huge interest in finance because while managing my project, I understood that profit and loss of a project and a business is a very important thing. And I developed interest in how these things are linked with the finally with the technical things and how it can be converted, how businesses converts it, how entrepreneurship works and all. So while getting exposure in the finance domain, I found my technical uh, background helped me to absorb this new revolution that was coming in the financial technology domain, fintech domain and all. So I was passionate about blockchain. I was passionate about this fintech and other things. And then I got a very good guide, mentor in amongst my professors. Those were there in uh, Vinod Gupta School of Management in IIT Kharagpur. So they guided me a lot, and I found while looking at them, I found I idolized them, and I thought ki that why not I should also try. I always had a knack towards the academic sector, right? So academics actually gives you chance to interact with so many people, so many budding students, young mind, and that was one of the attraction of your show also, that it's about voice of the young, right? Young India. So that's why I go and went through many of the videos, and I found that that's a real a good connection collection that you have made through
Okay.
your videos of
Yeah.
different people talking about young people, talking about the India today,
Yeah.
and maybe from 20 years from now, when they will look back on what they have spoke about and where India is, then it will make a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
So it will be a thing that the generations will take forward, right?
Okay.
So right. So
And,
coming back to my
and then
education.
after your BTech, you went to an MBA and you decided to do a PhD right there.
Yes, yes. So, but I have to go through different exams and all because it's difficult to get into IIT Kharagpur for a PhD, right? So I cleared the UGC net exam, and also I cleared the internal exams and all.
Yeah.
And then I already knew my guide, Dr. Prabina Rajiv,
Yeah.
right? So she is now the director in BIMTech Noida as another role. So, but she's already associated with Vinod Gupta School of Management as a
Yeah.
professor, right? So, ma'am guided me a lot, and I started working in the domain of commodity markets.
Yeah.
So commodity markets and how different analytics can be used to find out that what are the problems in commodity markets. So
Yeah.
it fascinated me that commodity markets is not much developed right now in India. We are developing, but there are different speculations are happening. The speculations and price increase and everything was happening. So there was different ban happening in India. So
Yeah.
government has banned many products from getting traded in the market and the
Yes.
derivatives market,
Yes.
right, due to the speculation and other things that were happening. And one of my first research paper was on the speculation that happened for guar seed. I
Yeah.
think you may be remembering the prices went skyrocketed sometime for guar seed because it
Yeah.
was used for cell oil production in US,
Yes.
right? And people started to increase the price like anything. They started hoarding it, or demand suddenly increased, something happened. And there was a pause. There was a ban by government on guar gum and guar seed trading. So I tried to analyze that episode, that why this thing happened. And my research, through my research, I found that excessive speculation actually increased the volatility. So we
Yeah.
could quantify those things, that how volatility increased, when it increased, and how it has created a causal relationship between the volatility and the speculation thing that happened, and it led to we gave a actually ma'am suggested that, so we gave a unique title also to this research paper. It was that killing the golden goose. Right. So it was a golden goose. It was giving a good amount of impetus in money to our farmers,
Yeah.
right, who were lacking that. But it actually, when we tried to speculate on it, people who were nothing to do with the market started speculating through paper trades, right? So it actually hampered the market. So we
Yeah.
actually killed the golden goose at that
Yeah.
time if we could not hold on it. And there play comes a big role of the regulator. So
Yeah.
that made me think about another topic that I thought my research should be on this area, and I focused on a more developed market, that is the US market in commodities. So US market is very, very developed. There are lots of products that are being traded in the US Chicago Board of Trade and CME market and all. So what my thesis title was, I tried to find out the price discovery, right? Whether this participation of different speculators, or in US it is known as index investors,
Yeah.
right? So index investors have nothing to do with the commodity itself. They are
Correct.
not there to hedge their risk, but they are trying to do is they are trying to invest in an index that is
Yes.
created out of commodities. And
Yes.
what we identified was this S&P, the Goldman Sachs Commodity Index. It was being used to make a passive investment strategy out of it. And
Right.
we found that this index is very much loaded by energy commodities, that is crude
Yeah.
oil.
Yeah.
And that is why whenever crude oil was increasing in terms of price or volatility, it was having some spillover effect on other commodities.
Mm-hmm.
So through my PhD thesis, I tried to develop a financialization index. We
Okay.
termed it as financialization. So
Yeah.
commodity markets had a purpose of saving people from risk that comes from price risk, right? But this, due to this involvement of index investors and big speculators in the market is actually deviating from fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, supply demands were not dictating the price. You
Right.
must have noticed recent cocoa price rise that
Yeah.
has happened recently, right? So that also impacted hugely the market. So
Yeah.
the big corporates who have booked their prices, they benefited, but
Mm.
the actual farmers, they did not,
No.
because they are on contract. So they
Yes.
have already sold their produce, and the
Correct.
market skyrocketed when the brokers or the middlemen came into picture, and they
Yeah.
benefited a lot.
Yes.
So my research is on that, and I identified that we can monitor the market through this financialization index,
Okay.
right? And we can then take care of the regulators, the government can take care of the market. If there is excessive speculation, they can put in some embargo in the market, or they can put in some restrictions, penalties, right? And they can feature in here to control the market forces and bring it back to the fundamentals. So that was the end of my PhD journey. I defended my thesis successfully, and I worked in different other colleges, and finally I came back to my city, Kolkata, right? And I'm now working in International Management Institute, Kolkata. I've already taught in other institutes as a visiting professor, like Indian Institute of Foreign Trade and other places, where I love teaching fintech,
Yeah.
right? Fintech, blockchain, financial analytics.
Yeah.
So these are my interest areas in around which I am working. And also recently I've developed interest in the generative AI domain. So
Okay.
it's very fascinating how you make machines intelligent, right?
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence is the new thing.
Yeah.
But I feel there is one loophole here, that lot of AI washing is also happening, right? So AI washing in the sense is many companies or many people, they are trying to wash their products or services in the name of AI. Maybe there is nothing to be done with the AI. There is nothing. Maybe a simple chatbot. but they are marking it as supported by AI or supported by something and all. So we have to be careful, and knowledge can always make us understand. So we try to spread knowledge into our young generation, the people that we have, to the corporates that we have, through different programs, through different interactions. And I hope the project that you have started through the Vidped, the idea is very unique. I think this message will go to all different people, right, across different industries and different backgrounds. And people will be careful to understand what is actually AI washing and what is the actual impact of AI, and where to be careful about AI usage, right? So we have to be careful about that, and we have to think of sustainability also. So how it's consuming the energy. And sorry, you're on mute, sir, if you can.
Any advice you have for young people?
Okay, so for young people, my advice would be to uh, venture into newer domains, right? Make your background stronger in whatever areas you are working in. Venture into newer domains. Invest into learning, that because it is the best investment that you can do apart from other things that you are doing, because learning is going to pay you any time or the other. So develop your knowledge, develop your expertise, and try to develop in the growth of India,
Okay.
right? So India is going to become the next big thing in the world, right? Next big superpower in the world. And if you are contributing in developing India in a big way, through whatever way it's possible, in the way of arts, technology, engineering, finance, in whichever domain, in entrepreneurship, whichever domain you are contributing to the growth story of India, the upcoming generation is going to remember you,
Okay.
and upcoming generation is going to be inspired by you.
All right.
So let us do something that inspires the upcoming generation, and the world looks us as a uh, growth story of India,
All
right?
right.
How we are growing in the upcoming domain.
All right. Thank you so much, Arunava. This is a pleasure to listen to you. It's quite a story, and you have told it so well. And your interests are very much in the financial sector and in India. So I'm very happy. Any last things you want to add here?
Uh, Last but not the least, as you said that all of you are welcome to visit Kolkata, right? Enjoy the Rasgulla and right, visit different places, and definitely get in touch with me. I will try to be as much as helpful as possible through different things. And I would please subscribe to this uh, great initiative of listening to young people, right? So everyone listens to successful people, everyone listens to wants to do interview of those who are successful in their domain, those make big names and all. But I would appreciate this initiative that Mr. Mathur you have done, sir, that to listen to the young generation, young people, and
Okay.
what they want to say.
Yeah.
So the
Thank
young
you.
minds,
Thank you so
voice
much,
needs.
Arunava. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Let's end it here. I want to talk to you offline. Uh,
Sure, sir.
all right. So I'll be back with another young person or an expert soon. Let's say bye till then.